Hello, YouTube. This is Set Free from the Trap Ministry. Set Free from the Trap Ministry Church. I am over here to talk about selfishness. This world is full of selfishness. This is a selfish world that we live in. The world is very selfish, okay? The devil is blinding people's mind with the spirit of selfishness. Selfishness is on the rise in our world today. Selfishness, the worship of self, following self, listening to self, doing what doing what self, living for self is not good. So we live in a world today where selfishness is on the rise. Young men and women who are following the selfish mindset. Yep. The selfish mindset tells you don't care about nobody. This is a selfish world we live in. And selfishness come from Jesus. I got it wrong. selfishness, selfishness come from the devil. Selfishness, let me get it correct. Selfishness come from the devil. Selfishness come from the devil. That's where selfishness comes from. I had to get it correct. The world is full of selfish people. That's what the world teaches you, to live for self, to follow self. I find out that following self can get you in a lot of trouble. The devil is selfish. So he wants you to be selfish like him and don't care about nobody. The world we live in is selfishness. It's full of selfishness. Telling you to trust in yourself, to follow self, to listen to self, that's no good. Proverbs 28:26 said, he who trusts in his own heart is a fool, but he who walks wisely and wisely will be delivered. He who trusts in his own heart is a fool, but whosoever walks wisely will be delivered. So trusting in self is no good. That's why relationships don't work. That's why families break. That's why families break down, because it's some selfishness going on in there. Selfishness. Selfishness tell you you can do anything. Selfishness tell you don't care about nobody. The devil is selfish, so he wants you to be selfish. Selfishness tell you to look at people mean. Selfishness can get you in a lot of trouble. Trusting in self. The world is full of selfish people that live for self, to follow self. That ain't no good. Following self. I need Jesus Christ every day to help me say no to me and yes to him, because the world is full of selfish people. Those who trust in their self is a bullheaded, thick-headed fool. So trusting in self really don't get you nowhere. And self can lie to you. Self can lie to you. But so many people are trusting in what self say do. And that's coming from the devil. The devil don't want people to know that he real. Young men and women who are following the selfish mindset. He who trusts in his own confidence, he who trusts and confident is in his own heart is a thick-headed fool. But he who walks skillfully in godly wisdom will be rescued. So trusting in self, you don't get too far. Self will stress you out. Self will have you worried and cussing. Following self don't last. Jesus said in Proverbs 3:5, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding, but acknowledge Jesus Christ. He will direct your path. You got to throw away your opinion. I'm making a choice to trust in Jesus, to lean not on my own understanding, but acknowledge Jesus Christ. He will direct my path. Trusting in self don't help. The world is full of selfish young men and selfish young women. Self tells you to cuss people out. Living for self don't work very well. The world is full of selfish people. That's not why God sent his son, Jesus Christ, so we can live for self. Following self messes up the family. It turns up everything in the world. The devil is selfish, so he wants you to be selfish too. Following self don't work. So I'm not following self. I'm not following me. No. I'm making a choice to trust in the Lord with all my heart. Lean not to my own understanding, but acknowledge Jesus Christ. He will direct my path. So many young men and women are following themselves. Self tells you to mean mug people. Self tells that young lady to cuss folks out. Listening to self can get you in a lot of trouble. But he whose confidence is in his own heart is a bullheaded, thick-headed fool. Trusting himself is getting a lot of people in trouble. But walking in God's wisdom, I'm going by what Jesus Christ say. I'm safer. I'm safer in God's hands. I pray for all the selfish people in this world that's raising up selfish kids, that God's goodness and kindness and love will lead them to repentance. They will let Jesus Christ change their mindset. Trusting in self don't never work. This get you in trouble. I'm praying for all the selfish people in this world. Repentance means letting God change your mindset. Bye-bye.